Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching On Her Majesty's Secret Service by Peter R. Hunt, starring George Lazenby. I've already heard of Hunt's name before as the editor of the first couple of Bond films, and it's great to find out that he's finally stepping up to be the director of one. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The Sean Connery era is over. I think he made one more or two more Bond films, I'm not sure, but the main Sean Connery era is over now. I'm extremely sad as he became my favorite Bond out of the three I watched, the others being Craig and Brosnan. I know Lazenby did only one film, and although the reception was lukewarm at the time, apparently it's considered one of the better Bond films today. I consider myself a pretty open-minded person nowadays, and I'm looking forward to seeing a new face in this iconic role. About the film itself, I read from the comments that I should expect the return of Spectre, hopefully Blofeld, in this one. And apparently there is a surprise or a twist I should look out for. I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty excited to find out. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this film and over 120 movies and TV shows, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below, by the way. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Hunt, Lazenby. Let's go. Hey, that's a different one. At least they kept the intro the exact same.
And now, computer analysis reveals an entirely new approach. Miniaturization.
Q.
Number 10's making ugly noises about Operation Bedlam. Miss Moneypenny, have you checked with communications?
Miss Moneypenny's back. I wonder whether this cold open is related to the main plot or not, because some of them are, some of them are not. Nice close-up. It might be on a mission. Okay, she's walking straight into the ocean. I wonder what car that is. I don't think I've seen that before. I think she wanted to end her own life. But I wonder why Bond was following her in the first place.
Good morning. My name's Bond. James Bond. Miss,
Don't move,
Oh.
Mr. Bond.
Move!
Okay, I'm already a big fan of the camera work. It's very stylized compared to the previous ones. I wonder whether it's the same cinematographer or not.
This never happened to the other fella.
Nice callback to Cinderella, where the princess leaves her shoe. Oh, Lois Maxwell and Bernard Lee and Desmond Lowen, they're back. But I don't hear an original song. It's original music, but it's not a song. Production designed by Sid Kane, not Ken Adam. Oh, the music is by John Barry. He's great.
By the way, that red cougar outside, does it belong to a lady?
Yes, sir. Contessa Teresa de Vicenzo. Che bella.
I still have to get used to Lazenby as Bond. Lazenby has a mole.
Banco.
Banco de Boo.
It's her. I wonder what they're playing.
Dame can't pay up.
S'il vous plaît, madame. Venez avec moi.
Please continue.
Merci.
Don't bring her 57.
Sir?
Dom Perignon. That's expensive stuff.
Why do you persist in rescuing me,
Tracy.
Mr. Bond?
Well, Tracy, next time play it safe and stand on 5.
People who want to stay alive play it safe.
She has a death wish.
Come later. I hope it'll be worth it.
Looks like he has a very minimalistic approach to Bond. Not showing too many facial expressions quite yet.
Tracy? Tracy?
That got me for a second. might be a setup. Yeah, the editing work is pretty good. The director of the film was a former editor.
Gate crusher. I'll leave you to tidy up.
You're full of surprises, Contessa.
So, suppose I were to kill you for a thrill.
I can think of something more sociable to do.
Now, who was he?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can be a lot more persuasive, Contessa.
Yeah, I'm not too convinced either. She's way too mysterious.
Whatever else I may be, I'm not a liar.
Oh, the dude's already up.
I think you're in some sort of trouble. Would you like to talk about it?
No, Mr. Bond. The only thing you need know about me is that I pay my debts.
20,000 francs is a lot of money.
What happened to the assassin? Did he just give up and leave? She does pay her debts, but I think she took the gun?
Paid in full as well.
That's $2,000, which is a lot of money today.
We'll give it to you outside.
What a lovely surprise, our meeting again so soon. Thank you.
I hope it's Spectre.
Do not kill me, Mr. Bond. At least not until we've had a drink. Then if you wish, I'll give you another chance. I'm Draco, of Draco Construction.
Draco.
A martini for our guest, Alim.
A pleasure.
Shaken, not stirred.
Of course.
Draco knows Bond. That one line gave us a lot of exposition.
Marc-Ange Draco, head of the Union Courts, one of the biggest crime syndicates in Europe.
Oh.
The biggest.
Not quite. An organization known as Spectre operates worldwide. However, your legitimate business fronts are somewhat more extensive.
Ah, okay. They're not as big as Spectre, but they're still a criminal organization, and he's the head.
I was Teresa's father.
Tracy.
Without telling me she married an Italian count who killed himself in a Maserati with one of his mistresses.
Oh.
I gave her too much, and it brought her nothing. What you did, the way you behaved, might be the beginning of some kind of therapy. She needs help.
And Bond being the therapist in this scenario?
She needs a psychiatrist, not me.
Yes.
What she needs is a man to dominate her, to make love to her enough to make her love him.
Oh, that's a little cringy. Her father talking about that.
She's very attractive.
But what you ask is not for me. Where is Ernst Stavro Blofeld?
Blofeld.
Blofeld? I don't know where he is.
Can you find out?
If I could, I wouldn't tell Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Only more so. Heartless brute, letting me pine away without even a postcard.
Pine no more.
They have very good on-screen chemistry.
I'm relieving you from Operation Bedlam, 007.
But, sir, Blofeld's something of a must with me. So under the
That's all.
circumstances...
That's all.
Yeah, Bond is going after Blofeld. I don't think he's going to let up that easy.
Take a memo, please, Moneypenny. Sir, I have the honor to request you will accept my resignation, effective forthwith, and kindly present us that monument in there.
He's resigning so he can go at it solo.
Request granted.
Interesting turn of events.
Not even with regret.
What did you expect? A knighthood? Why don't you read it?
2 weeks leave.
You didn't really want to resign, did you?
What would I do without you?
My problem is that you never do anything with me.
It's a date. The moment I get back. Beachcombing?
What would I do without you, Miss Moneypenny? Thank you.
I have a question for you guys. Who's your favorite Bond girl or a female Bond character?
Teresa!
Happy birthday, Papa.
May I introduce my daughter, Teresa?
Contessa,
Mr. Bond and I have already met.
but each time is a renewed pleasure.
Wow, that's impressive stunt work.
Mr. Bond and I are discussing a business deal, Teresa.
Really? No woman would waste this excellent champagne discussing a business deal. Unless, of course, she happened to be part of the arrangement.
I really like the writing.
Tell him what he wants to know. Tell him, Papa, or you'll never see me again.
That's an ultimatum.
There may be a connection between that man Blofeld and the lawyer.
Now, Mr. Bond need have no further interest in me.
Another mistake.
Oh.
Have all the time
I think this is Louis Armstrong's voice.
in the world.
Oh. And I don't think we've seen this before. A montage of Bond almost falling in love, I'd say. Don't you love when films actually used animals and real things instead of like CGI?
I'll get cracking on this appointment, then catch up with you.
The story of our life, Jane?
Just keep my martini cool.
I will be back in an hour.
A safe cracking machine. I wonder whether these existed in real life or not. Probably not.
Tomorrow I will speak to him alone, man to man.
No, Papa.
Why not?
No talk.
He's making copies. Hunt is repeatedly showing the clock. And these were the days before the security cameras, so you could just walk in and out anytime. Wow.
Unusually small for Nymphalis polychlorus.
He knows his butterflies?
This is a photostat copy of a letter addressed to our College of Arms in the City of London, with the request that they undertake to establish de Blochamp's claim to the title. And Sir Hilary Bray, he's the sable basilisk of the college, has replied to Gumball suggesting that he should meet de Blochamp in person.
Interesting.
Good motto, eh? The world is not enough.
The world is not enough. That's a Brosnan Bond film.
They want me to send a description of myself.
Tactfully adjusted to favor me.
One helpful physical point might be that the real de Blochamps are without earlobes.
And one thing I noted is Lazenby, his British accent is pretty good. I lived in Australia for a while and he does not have your traditional Australian accent in this film.
Have you had a good journey?
No, quite intolerable. I'm not a good traveler, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry.
He's in disguise. He looks almost like Sherlock Holmes. Beautiful, man. That's some place I need to visit, the Swiss Alps.
That is avalanche damage.
Yeah, the cinematography is definitely a step up. Love these wide open shots.
Do you feel the air sickness? Up to there is for the public, and from here upwards, it is strictly private. There is the Blanchamp Institute for Allergy Research.
Allergy research? Love these exotic locations.
Fräulein, I should warn you, guns make me very nervous.
He wants to leave his mark on the entire world.
That's true.
Director, bitte.
Blofeld. The helicopter is leaving. Oh, okay, he's wearing a kilt.
Sir Hilary, please come to meet our patients.
These are the patients?
Malt whiskey and brown water, please.
Not a martini.
Now, if you will tell me your
We
name.
do not use surnames here. It is the rule of the clinic.
What an odd clinic.
Delicious. I used to hate chicken. This will make me break out, but all over. You'll be surprised where.
Potatoes did it to me. Now I adore them.
No medical histories, please.
I think she just gave him the room number. This is clearly a set.
Good evening, Sir Hilary.
Good evening.
Is it a different actor playing Blofeld?
If you wish to be confirmed as Count de Blanchamp, you must give me some of your time.
Yeah, this Blofeld seems a little less intimidating so far, and I'm pretty sure it's a different actor. Room 8. Ah, I think he'll break the circuit with rubber. That was easier than I expected. Isn't the man in love with Tracy now? What is he doing? I mean, yeah, he's on a mission and everything, but...
You're not usual. That lipstick was an inspiration.
So are you.
It's true.
Great. Do you remember when you first came here, how you hated chickens?
Hypnosis.
I've taught you to love chickens, to love their flesh.
Hypnosis. They're being brainwashed. They're definitely being brainwashed for some kind of mission.
How did you get out?
Perhaps you would turn on the light.
No. You're a picture yourself. And twice as lovely in the past.
Dude, I can't believe he's ready to go again. Like, I want to know his diet. I assume it's the same night, so that's 2 different women in like a couple of hours, man.
8 o'clock tonight.
And the dude is climbing. And he's been spotted.
Who the hell are you anyway? I am the director of this institute.
I don't think he's a bad guy because he's not being covert. He's being very obvious.
I must see you tonight.
9 o'clock?
He's got an appointment at 8, 9, and maybe 10.
No idea how it's piling up.
I love that one line. You have no idea how it's piling up.
Has that old cow told you?
Fancy meeting you, you Fräulein.
Oh.
Merry Christmas, 007.
I knew it.
Respectable baronets from the College of Heralds do not seduce female patients in clinics. On the other hand, they do get their professional details right. Your colleague?
Oh, he was his colleague.
If my demands are not met, I shall proceed with the systematic extinction of whole species of cereals and livestock all over the world.
Holy crap.
Including, I suppose, the human race. They'll find an antidote.
Of course.
But it'll be too
if
late.
I give them enough time.
There you go.
This time the price is of another kind. You'll be even more amused when you know what. In the meanwhile, I will keep you here as my guest.
The fact that he said this time means they met before.
Poor fellow. He was restless too.
Oh. That's a Rolex. Oh no. I think this Bond film is paced very slowly in comparison with the previous ones. That's a stuntman. Great work. Great stunt work, I mean. Is it me, or did Christopher Nolan take a lot of inspiration for Inception from here? The building designs, the backgrounds, they're very similar to the third act of Inception.
You forget it forever. And now you may open your eyes again.
I wonder how they will spread the virus though. That has the virus.
Which you must never touch. Never. Until I tell you how.
Okay, now it's making sense.
Not remember what I just told you.
I just realized why there are so many different ethnicities of girls. It's to spread them around the world. That makes sense, I guess. Oh, that's his escape plan. Nice! And I wonder where Tracy is. We haven't seen her in over an hour. I also like the subtle music. And see what I mean by the extended shots? This chase could have probably been cut down just a little. Look at that dummy.
And a Happy New Year.
Fröhliche Weihnachten.
Frohe Weihnachten.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Tracy.
James.
She's in Switzerland.
Darling, you're in trouble. What is it?
There's people after me.
And come to think of it, we haven't seen gadgets in use as well.
Why are they looking for you?
Suspect they're trying to kill me.
Why is she surprised by that? Everybody's trying to kill Bond all the time.
And Pa told me where to find him.
That's not a surprise.
Good girl.
I think he really likes her.
I hope my big end will stand up to this.
Great stunt work. Yeah, this film is definitely more grounded. No ninjas, no space, no gadgets, Bond seemingly in love, no explosions so far. But the story has been very interesting. There you go.
Keep moving, I'll open the doors.
She's being shot with a certain glow. I wonder whether she knows James technically cheated on her with like 2 different girls.
I love you.
Oh.
I know I'll never find another girl like you. Will you marry me?
Whoa. Marriage. James Bond? Yeah. I know the Bond character isn't married. Or at least in the future film, so something terrible must happen to her.
The proper time for this is our wedding night. And that's my New Year's resolution.
Constraint. That's a first.
It's not New Year yet.
Why do I doubt him? Oh, you can see chunks of him coming out.
He had lots of guts.
Please tell me we get to see an avalanche, man. Holy crap, that's real. Wow, this has to be the most impressive scene in the entire film. Oh man. Yeah, that was definitely the most impressive set piece I've seen from a Bond film in a while.
Get the girl.
I'm here.
Bond has to rescue Tracy from Blofeld now.
Destroy the Institute and destroy Blofeld and his virus with it.
It's been rejected as too risky.
And the girl who helped me escape, we just leave her there.
This department is not concerned with your personal problem.
Your call to Marc-Ange Draco, head of Draco Construction.
He's contacting Draco directly. And another staple of the Bond films, helicopters.
Now, if you're very, very nice to me, I could make you my countess.
We have no record of your flight plan or registration. Over.
Then your registrations must be out of date. Over.
She's expecting Bond and her father to come to the rescue.
You are carrying passengers?
Of course I am. Distinguished representatives of the world press.
Oh, that'll discourage them.
Helicopters, we've been attacked.
Get our positions covered.
I just saw a vanishing helicopter on the right side of the screen. Did anybody else notice that? And we're finally getting to hear the James Bond story. Oh wow, what a shot. Oh!
Got to laser.
Flamethrowers. That was a fake explosion, but okay. Nice. Ah, these are the names and locations of the girls.
Where are you going?
Papa, where's James?
Don't worry, you'll join us soon.
I think they built a miniature set and blew that up. Judging by how the walls crumbled, concrete doesn't crumble like that. That explosion was a little unsatisfactory, to be honest. This is a unique chase for sure. Oh, that was impressive stunt work. So is this.
He's branched off.
He's branched off. But I don't think he's dead though.
The bride and bridegroom, Mr. and Mrs.
Bond
James
is
Bond.
Bond is officially married. Yeah, either one of two things here. Either next films they don't have continuity, or something horrible happens to her.
Congratulations, 007. I must confess that I've sometimes thought you a little,
Irresponsible?
Exactly.
Obey your husband in all things. You promise me?
But of course I will.
Yeah.
As I've always obeyed you.
I like her.
Don't forget my birthday next year.
Have I ever?
Both of you. Or maybe
Oh.
all of you.
You know I haven't given you a wedding present yet? Now we have all the time in the world.
Anyway, you have given me a wedding present. The best I could have. The future.
Wow. Oh!
Blofeld.
Oh! I knew it. I knew it was too good to be true. Man, she's dead.
There's no hurry, you see. We have all the time in the world.
I think this is the first time we're seeing Bond crying on screen. And the film ends here. What a bold choice. For the first time, he doesn't get the girl. You guys were right about the surprise, man. James Bond will return in Diamonds Are Forever. I really, really liked this film, guys. This was completely different. Damn. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, wow, what a unique Bond film. That ending was so unexpected and sudden, it really took me by surprise. To see Bond married for even a second. And the fact that the film ends with him in tears, that's something we have never seen before. I would consider the strengths of this film to be its story, cinematography, general scene-to-scene editing, some of the action sequences and stunts, and the music. Whereas the main criticism I had of this film was probably its length, especially some of the more extended shots we'll talk about. Another thing I wouldn't call a criticism would be the distinctive lack of gadgets and explosions. We'll also talk about that later. Let's get started with the directing by Peter Hunt and the writing by Richard Maybaum. I know both these men worked on previous Bond films, so they definitely know what they were doing and they know this character very well. As I have not read the Ian Fleming novel of the same name, I'm not sure how well it was adapted for screen. Regardless, the movie felt more grounded and realistic compared to some of the later Connery films. I have to admit, I was a little skeptical of Lazenby's choice in Bond, but I think he really delivered here. We'll get to him and his performance later. The main story of this film was pretty straightforward, with Blofeld hypnotizing girls under the guise of curing them of their allergies. He planned to render all the food plants and livestock infertile, resulting in mass starvation and death. A great plan. Less crazy than the previous ones, which involved space and stuff. Anyway, in exchange, he wanted amnesty and the title of a baron, if I'm not mistaken. The subplot of the film had Bond falling in love for the first time with Tracy, marrying her and eventually losing her to Blofeld. This created more animosity in history between these two men, and I feel like Bond will be even more motivated to take him down in the future. The subplot is what really made this film stand out and stand the test of time, in my opinion. It really humanized Bond and made him somewhat a more relatable character, because he's always like suave and cool and everything. This showed him vulnerable. Hunt shot the action sequences very well, especially the skiing stuff. Although the number of these action sequences were less compared to the previous films, I also felt a sense of the upcoming 70s counterculture from the costume design and the hairdos. Another first in the Bond franchise was the fact that Bond quit the Secret Service and was operating based on his own interests, obviously partly motivated by his love for Tracy. Really good and innovative stuff, especially for the Bond franchise. Moving on to the performances of the film, starting with George Lazenby as 007, Bond. I was really impressed with his only performance as this iconic character. Initially, he looked more like a model than an actor, but the great news is that he had an excellent script to work with, which really elevated his performance. He portrayed Bond with a certain vulnerability and complexity. His expressions were subtle, and his chemistry with Tracy on screen was excellent. He was also physically a great actor with Bond's mannerisms and everything. Finally, he did in fact have a fair amount of charm to his version of Bond. One more thing that kind of bothered me was, I know he was on his job, but we see him seduce two different women while he was on his mission. At least in his mind and in the mind of the audience, he was committed to Tracy. I don't completely understand that. But speaking of Tracy, Diana Rigg's performance as Tracy, it was just wonderful. I think she might be my favorite Bond girl so far. I mean, she got the prize that so many women were after, getting Bond to settle down and actually marrying him. So good on her for that. Her character had depth and a wonderful story arc. From being near suicidal at the beginning of the film to looking forward to having a future with Bond with kids and everything, she was written fantastically and also portrayed by Riggs. I never imagined Bond married and that too taken away from him so fast. What a great choice narratively. Now I'm really looking forward to Diamonds Are Forever, since I want to know whether there is direct continuity or not. Speaking of continuity, Blofeld was played by Telly Savalas, who was a different actor to that of You Only Live Twice. Firstly, his scar was missing. His iconic scar was missing. I wonder whether that was an intentional choice or not. Honestly, he looked way more intimidating with the scar. It really gave the character some much needed personality, as we don't know too much about his history. Secondly, I felt this time around he was a little less intimidating than before. Maybe because he had more lines and he did so much more. We see him skiing himself and chasing Bond in certain scenes. I think keeping him as an ambivalent villain would have been a better choice, but then again, that's just my opinion. Lastly, I don't understand why Blofeld did not recognize Bond when they met. He was not wearing a disguise or anything, and the fact that Bond asks what he's up to this time reinforces the fact that they met before. Maybe again a narrative choice, maybe he actually didn't recognize him, I hope not. Maybe it's the continuity thing, but I'd really love to hear your opinion on this. Please leave it in the comments below. The cinematography of the film was really good. I would say it was an improvement over the previous ones. Although the locations were a little varied this time around, the way they were shot, that was beautiful. The wide open shots of the Swiss Alps were gorgeous and brought out the best of Switzerland. The editing work was wonderful too, especially the scene-to-scene editing. I had no troubles in following the plot or the narrative. What I did have a problem with was the length of the film. At over 2 hours, 21 minutes, I felt like this film was probably pushing it a little and a little longer than it needed to be. Several scenes were too extended in my opinion, like the one in the third act where Bond was making his way through the crowd or just trying to escape the room in the second act. I felt like cutting 15 minutes from the runtime would not have affected the story or characters in any meaningful way. The score of the film was very good, but I did notice that there was no original song in the intro sequence. It was an original composition, but not a traditional Bond song, which I think was another first in the Bond franchise. I think except Dr. No, but I have to recheck. Anyways, the sound design was consistent as ever with the sounds of the guns, the Swiss Alps, the snowstorms. It was all done very well and it was fairly convincing too. The sets of this film were not by Ken Adam. I did not see his name in the credits, which was a little disappointing at first, but whoever did the sets here deserves recognition because they were mostly varied and very interesting. Especially Bond's hideout, Blofeld's hideout, the Allergy Institute. That was beautifully made. Although the explosion was a little unconvincing. I think they used a miniature for that. Anyways, I really felt like Christopher Nolan took inspiration for the set and atmosphere for his film Inception. Those scenes at the end felt eerily similar. And I wouldn't be surprised to read about it later or from the comments. Please do let me know if there are similarities or you saw the same as well. There was a notable lack of gadgets used in the film, which was again a little disappointing, but now that I took some time to think about it, it does make sense narratively. Bond resigned from his post and was doing his mission alone, and that is why he did not have access to Q and the usual assortment of gadgets. It makes sense. Since I've already mentioned my main criticism, overall, On Her Majesty's Secret Service was in fact one of the better Bond films. The twist ending really did surprise me, and it was a great choice narratively and made Bond a more vulnerable and relatable character. Lazenby was really good as Bond, and I loved Diana Rigg's performance as Tracy too. Blofeld was a little more hit and miss in my opinion, but I'm glad they didn't just kill him off like that. I really want to see Bond getting his revenge sometime in the future. Although I felt like this was a little too long, the good in this film outweighed the bad easily. And I can't wait for the next Bond film. Diamonds Are Forever. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video. Dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.